It was on 23rd February 2010 when we had a fire accident in the city I live in, which is Bengaluru, or Bangalore as is more commonly known across the world. It was a 7-story building, a commercial complex, and we lost 9 individuals and about 70 odd people were injured. One of the 9 who passed away happened to be my son. And that was really the origins of when I thought about setting up Beyond Carlton post the accident and post our period of grieving. I felt it was important for me to reach out to the other 8 families who had lost somebody and to try and see whether there was a common purpose in what I was trying to look at, which was to change the way India looked at fire safety and to hope that no other family goes through what I had been through. So that really was the origins of Beyond Carlton close to 13 years ago. And we've been at it since then. Beyond Carlton is a registered charitable trust, which primarily has trustees as at the topmost end of the pyramid. And along with us to support the trustees are a bunch of well-meaning citizens who either come from a fire safety or a fire engineering background, plus an average citizen who believes they want to make a change in the way India looks at fire safety. So we have people with very diverse backgrounds. Most of them try and give us counsel and give us direction in terms of what we could do, or maybe a learning from some other part of the world that we can co-opt and use in India. I think there are a couple of issues. One is the fact that whatever statistics is published out, which is once a year by the National Crime Records Bureau, that's possibly the only statistics that we can rely on in India. And one's noticing that there are some significant data points that we have observed over the last 10-12 years. These few slides will give you an idea of some data points that highlight the need for a consistent effort around fire safety. As regards fire safety education, one observation I had was that it was quite obvious that most people didn't know what to do when they were in a fire accident situation. That was kind of a glaring gap that seemed to exist. And we felt that maybe there was an opportunity for us to actually step in along with the fire services to try and provide some basic level of education around fire safety. One of the things that we have observed, and I had co-written a paper with a professor from the Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, which is one of the premier institutes in the country around business management, around why there is a cultural issue when it comes to Indians looking at their own personal safety. What we realized and found was that we tend to take our own lives a little lighter than we should. And it's not just a reference to fire safety or fire accidents, but it's also true with the larger issue of road accidents that we face in India. A lot more people die in road accidents in India. So there is a cultural challenge that we have. Most of us believe we'll never die in a fire in India. And that's really what we are grappling with. The way forward as far as fire safety education is concerned is really what we've been doing over the last many years. One area that we have focused on is around the utilization of social media platforms. And we found a lot of engagement that's happening around social media communication that we're doing. We are finding not just in India, we have people from across the globe who are actually interacting with us. And simple little things like tips that we give out, simple little things like accidents that we quote about, little interviews that we do with people that we think could be of relevance. The whole idea is to be able to engage with as many people as we can and hope that, somebody will take one piece away from what we're trying to communicate. Besides the social media engagement, we're also doing a fair amount of on-ground activities. And that includes a recent thing we did with an apartments federation in Bangalore, where we got called in all the estate managers to come in and participate with us. They are really the champions of fire safety within their communities. And we felt, while of course we need to talk to the residents in large apartment complexes, it was vital that people who actually are meant to manage fire safety systems actually interact with us and maybe learn a few things that could be of use to them. So that was one thing that we've done. So a combination of on-ground activities and social media activities is really what we've been doing around fire safety education and trying to create awareness. Another area that has got a lot of traction for us has been working in closely with government authorities. We started with a fire safety blueprint for Bangalore, which was the first of its kind in India. And it was a 5-year blueprint that we had worked in over a year with the fire safety department or the fire services to actually try and look at planning for what could happen in a fire accident situation. Now, and this was a 5-year plan, and therefore it included things like infrastructure improvement. It included things like, let's say, technology interventions. It included things like fire safety awareness. So it was a combination of various aspects. Now, having seen what we had done for Bangalore, we had another state government in India, which reached out to us to try and do something similar with 2 cities that are fairly large for them. It was the cities of Bhubaneswar and Cuttack, and we're currently working in with them over the last 1 year and maybe for a year more to try and actually work in with a lot of various stakeholders that exist and try and bring them all onto a single table and try and get them to actually help us in formulating fire safety plans for cities. And some of you may know that Indian cities are fairly different from what you could see in more developed or Western countries. We have a lot of areas where even a fire engine can't enter, and therefore it gets very, very challenging. And we are looking at ways of trying to tackle some of these so-called settlements that exist within the country. What lies ahead for Beyond Carlton is really our ability to get more diverse kind of stakeholders to start partnering with us, working in with us to try and take our message as well as our learning over the last close to 13 years into various other cities and urban conglomerates within the country. We are hoping that a lot of what we've learned can actually start impacting various geographies within the country. That's really the way forward.